Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, D-Farm, thinking right out here in the lab, back in the book. Yeah, Mysteries of Isis, doing what I do for you. I got something nice for you, good lesson for you. So let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, then your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? And let's get there together. So I asked a question. What question? Do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's my goal. And that's what I do. A person is rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, excuse me, if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. To me, not knows in there. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my eye, be true. We're going to talk about the mystical wisdom of what they call the Shabaka Inscription, where it had 3 different languages laid out so you can understand it in 3 different languages. So let me give you the concept. And it said the mystical wisdom. There's some lessons here, some good lessons here. All right, here we go. That's the goal. Now, creation came into being through what? The mind, the thought of who? Ptah. In this instance, we're using Ptah, the God of gods, and his utterance of power. He uttered himself into existence from thinking, then he said, Tuh, and he became in. So what you think and what you bring to fruition verbally, we call that words of heka, we call it words of power. God has that power to whatever he named, that's what it is. Whatever he called, that's what it is. That's the concept. Okay, let's go. So God created energy. We call it atoms, molecules, but the ancients, energy, matter. We call it the noon. Okay, so we have a concept and then formed principles. Again, principles by which they would be governed. And we have 4 pairs of opposites. Remember, from one, everything else outside himself came in pairs. Atom, A-T-O-M. That's that thing he put in the sky. Let there be atom, sun, fire. God performs the work of creation by what? Sitting on Ptah, taking what? The creative thoughts and manifested them and then acted on the command of God. Your tongue gives commands. So therefore, atoms, molecules, whatever you call them now, okay, energy, are the what? The creative thoughts from God. That's it can't get no better than that. Which what? Which they obey God's will in essence, existence, nature, run through God. They obey God. The laws and the rules that set forth are laid down by him and they only obey him. You can use these rules for what? Good or evil. The consequences will be on you. See, God don't care if you use it for bad. Why? You got to pay the consequences like anything else. He laid it out there. Perfect. So, existence exists because of God. And God is what gives existence. Circle, God. Everything in it, God. Real simple. And that was the simplest form of God. We done complicated God with all knowing, all being. He's here, he's there, he's there. All this. God is simply everything, the all. They make it real simple. Let's go. This is teaching. I'm trying to make a point now. I'm trying to teach a point. Not tell you nothing. I'm trying to teach. Let's go. Breaking it down best I could for you. Number 4. God is, we know, is what? All conscious of creation. Therefore, creation exists because he's conscious and he made it that way through his consciousness. Again, we're still talking about God, the creator, the all. Okay? We humanize God. God made man, so what? Man can make God in his likeness. We think God like us. No, we're like him in what we can do and manifest. Moving on. All conceptual, all metaphorical, but when you do it, it's all yours. The consciousness, and that's what represents God. In the heart, here we go. Heart got a conscience. Heart got a mind, got a brain. I'm going to talk about that. With modern physics, there you go, what's this? What modern physics would call intelligence, we call consciousness, same thing. Knowing, awareness, and is the underlying reality behind all existence. Somebody had to know what they was doing. That's being conscious. That's an intelligence, a higher power, whatever you want to call it. Again, we try to humanize God, okay? But in all human experience, understanding God, studying and understanding and manifesting the principles that God laid out is God. Not nothing other than that. It's all mental. The sense, the fire that we have, receive what? Information from the physical body, from the environment, and thereby it registers what? As knowledge and existence. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. If we wasn't in the human form, we couldn't have experience. The spirit is just there. It got to have a human host, to have a human experience. Tired of being the physician here, the physics from my, no, I'm trying to make sense, that's all. But in fact, watch this. The world, creation, the whole, exists. Why? Because of consciousness, soul intelligence, which projects its existence, what? Through thought power. We think it first. We have it in our mind. It from the heart, felt from the heart, generated to the mind. When they think it as one, everything comes from the heart, go right to the mind. There's no in between, no middleman, okay? No ignorance to the ego to mess it up, okay? That's power. There can be no existence without consciousness. To what? To perceive it. God is the netters, and the netters are what? His creation. We call it nature, university, whatever, but it's all God's. Okay, it's all his. Number 6, Haru and Ptah are one and the same. We'll talk about that right quick. Haru is the reincarnation of Asar. Asar is the reincarnation of Ptah in the physical form. How about that? So it still comes back to the same thing. Ain't no way you saying this, he's saying that, they saying this. We got 3 different creation stories and all based on the same one God. How about that? And if you understood it, if you pay attention, that's what I'm trying to show you. I know all of them, so I understand it. That's what I'm trying to break it down to you. You might know one part. If you got one story, that's 1/3. 2, 2/3. All 3, now you got the understanding. And now you can do what you need to do to what? Decide which is your pick one you like the Jews did. They picked Yahweh, and they've been riding him ever since. Christians took Jesus. Pick one and roll with him. Greeks took Zeus. And just took Krishna. Everybody picked a god at horse race, varieties, spice of life. Same thing with gods. Conception was all mental. They only pay off if you, what? Manifest it. That's the payoff. Ding, 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 ding. And if you're wrong, you get nothing. What you put up is what you get back. Haru, again, Ptah, is us in the physical form. How about that? But they got a thing called an Agdo. That's the 8 gods and goddesses before creation. Watch this. This is where the elements of creation, this is when God's doing his work. You got the noon. The noon represented, we call the primeval waters. Okay? That's unformed matter. Nothing. bunch of possibilities, but nothing. The opposite to that is Nunet. That's heaven. That's creation, form, matter. That's where we end up in the end. From the noon, you go back to what? Nunet. Conception. The opposites. They got to go together. But then you got hue. Hue represents boundlessness. That means no boundaries. Opposite of no bounds is what? Bounds. See where we're going with this? Opposites. Kook represents darkness. Opposite of darkness, light. Let there be. We was in Kook, and God said, let there be Kooket, light. Amen. Hidden. Spirit that's in everything. Amen. Manifested spirit that's in everything. That's where the spirit go at the end. But to her, again, you find I'm home, and that when I'm in that, they go together. These are all concepts and theories, theology concepts that you can manifest for yourself. Pick one you like and roll with it. Okay? Now, the ancient Egypt, I'm going to break it down for you right here. The ancient Egyptian theology, there we go, is based on the one supreme being in the form of this. In this area of Memphis, we have Ptah. It developed in the ancient city of Ptah. The theology is based on a supreme being in the form of Ra, and developed in the ancient city of Anu. That's what they practiced, the Osirian concept where Ra is God. And then you got the theology. These are all concepts, theories, theologies, is based on a supreme being, again, one God, in the form of Amun. And that developed in the ancient city of Waset. Every one of those areas had a God, and all the same God, just different things, different aspects. Same thing, okay. But now when you do it in an in-depth study, due diligence, of what? The scriptures from each, not just one, but each of these theologies will show you that all of the high gods forms are in reality what? Especially the same one supreme God in supreme self as follows. What you mean? We start out with the Nabercha, Panetta, that's the one God, the singular one. Then we give him all-encompassing, meaning he is hidden. Amun means hidden, spirit. Ra, visible, tangible. And Ptah, the physical form, human form. We went from spirit to matter, okay? Asar, the first human, spiritual, outside of Ptah. Ptah came into Asar. Asar got killed by his brother, had offspring, Haru. That's us, me and you, okay? That's the spirit from, that's an incarnation from the spirit, which is Asar, our father. Aset, which is intuitive wisdom and knowledge. That's what we come from. We are aspirants. We want to be what? Our best selves. Or you should be. That's the concept. All right, let me go. Almost done. One more page. In Egyptian mythology, the god Ra represents cosmic consciousness. Okay. The all, right there. Which manifests as what? The sight. So we can see the aspect of consciousness is sight, manifested. Asar is Ra, what? In material form, human form. And Haru, which is me and you, represents the way to reach the Father. Don't wait till my Father's through me. I am the way. Ra, each individual, watch this, system of theology also has its own trinity. Again, we talked about that. Watch this. Now, as previously stated, there you go, the visual forms and the ideas presented in each of the gods were created by the sages in the ancient times to what? Help us to understand the qualities and the characteristics of what we call God through the descriptions of the various netters and deities, elements, cosmic forces, all those things. In Christianity, there is what they call the Father, Supreme Being, and several saints and angels. Again, that's his offshoots. But similar, even in India, in the Indian philosophy, the term Brahman also represents who? The formless, the nameless, the transcendental, and the all-encompassing existence beyond time and space, aka God. or the demons. They assume the roles of maintaining the universe, the elements and all the cosmic forces, air, water, earth, heaven. All those is cosmic forces that God put in place, conscious of what we need before he put us here on it. That was already in place. That's what I mean by he's conscious, all conscious. And he to maintain the universe in much the same way as the ancient Egyptian netters did. All the elements of nature God put there. Man didn't do it. Respect. Now, number 81 in the book, it says, Jesus says, this is what Christians, I am the all. And the all has gone out, what, from me, and the all has come back to me. The Indians say the same. In India, they say right now, Shiva is asleep. We're part of his dream, so we can do what we do individually. When he wake up, everything gonna go suck back in and go start all over again. Okay, we call them calamities, apocalypse, whatever. Y'all call it end times. Okay, but there's the concept that God started everything. When everything ends, it go back to him, and he started all over again. This ain't the first go around. I told you in the Zodiac, we've been here before. This ain't the first Aquarius information sign we've been through. Moving on, just want to let you know. But he says, I am the all, and the all comes back to me. Cleave to the wood. I'm there. Lift the stone, and thou shalt what? Find me there also. God is everywhere, omnipresent. Again, that concept has been around since forever. Moving on. I'm not saying yay or nay about it, but it's been around for a long time. But the Christian Gnostics, not the Roman Catholic Christians, the Christian Gnostics quote above attributed to Jesus from what? He got it from the ancient Egyptian Nag Hammadi text known as the what? Gospels of Thomas. And it describes the same idea. It wasn't a secret. If the power that be didn't want it, it was taken out. Sound familiar? Even calling it what? Watch this. They even called it by the same name. What? The all. That's how you title God. The all. They put the circle. The all right in that circle. Okay, that's everything right there. But in Hermeticism, which is the Tahuti concept that the Greeks, we encounter the same terminology. A comparison between the following Hermetic teachings and the Gnostic Christian teachings reveals what? The same meaning and mode of expression. But they didn't plagiarize. No, they didn't know. The Christians, that's all original. Let's talk about right quick. Again, facts. I ain't here to argue, debate. I'm here to make a point. There is only one supreme being. We all been telling you that. We all know that. Some people call it the all. So everybody got different names. We know that. Moving on. But the supreme being, the all. Now watch this. The all is it. That means it manifests itself through what? Infinite forms and many gods and goddesses, signs and symbols. It's all him. Okay? In essence, what? Many gods. In its essence, the all is unknowable. The only way to know thyself, the all, is become one with it. Well, how can I do that? Question, that's a legitimate question. If you've been paying attention, you know I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to just leave you hanging. Let's go. So now the universe is what? Mental. I keep telling you that. Held in the mind of who? The all. We're all in his mind. The all is spirit. The all is all. The infinite mind of the all. I just did a lesson about telepathy. I'm going to go down that rabbit hole with you in a minute. But telepathy is what? Thinking. Tuning into what? God, that higher vibration, that pineal gland, that tuning fork that's inside our brain, that transmitter, that once you activate it, you got direct connect with God. How could that be? God's inside his creation. That's how he ain't up there in them damn heavens, excuse me. But the all is what? The womb of the universe. He put this here. It's still alive. It's still growing. It's been doing that for millions of years. Our lifespan don't mean jack to infinity or eternity. Don't mean nothing. Just speck of time. Okay, understand that. So time is our illusion, not God's. So the all, again, creates in its what? Infinite mind. This is God. Look, yeah, that's his infinite mind. So we ain't nowhere near that. Understand that. But you got countless universes that he controls, manipulates, which exists, what? For eons. We don't have a clue what an eon is. A time considered to us a long time. Okay, my man said long ass time. But to the all, the creation, development, and death of millions of universes is at what? Is at the time of a twinkling of an eye. Back to eye, that's how what we went through, but into him, it ain't nothing. That's the concept. Understand that. So while all is in the all, which is the physical earth, it is also true, what? That the all is in all. His creation. To him who truly knows and understands this fact, truth have come great. With this truth come what? Great knowledge. That great knowledge is knowledge of self. Knowing God exists and understanding who and what he really is. So you have no belief in him. You have knowledge of him. Gnosis. Again, let me wrap this up. The all is the whole of all existence. One normally perceives reality as being what? Composed of separate objects, things, separate people, no, planets, stars, etc. Nope, that's all part of the one. Understand that. However, our ancient mystical philosophies is declaring what? The view that there is an all-encompassing existence of which one is not normally aware. We're born ignorant of that fact. When you become enlightened, you become aware. Secondly, that what you call time and space, or the passage of time, as well as the cause of effect, which nature of creation, is only a manifestation of the transcendental being, which is beyond, again, time and space. He could care less about this. It is from this being, the all, that what? That time and space even came into existence, into this same being, that time and space, as well as what? Human beings and consciousness dissolves after what? A certain period of time. In time, I mean, we're going to run out. And this is what? Just the idea that Jesus was referring to in his gospel of Thomas on line 81. He read you that. I am the all. Okay. He understood that fact. So Jesus was an enlightened being, obviously. And I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of the following versions from the Vedantic text from the India, known as what? The Upanishads. They got 47 reveals the same teachings of the all. Again, different country, different people, same concept. The great being has 1,000, meaning countless heads, 1,000 eyes, and 1,000 feet. Again, people. He envelops the universe. Thought. Through what? Transcendent. He is to be meditated upon. When you go into telepathy, meditative state, you're communicating with a higher power. Okay? And he's to be meditated upon as residing where? In the lotus flower that grows in the muck of the mire, but the lotus of the heart, meaning he pure. And at the center of your body, where it is 10 fingers above your navel. You start with your navel, you put 2 hands, you get to the heart. It should take you up to the heart, 10 fingers up to the heart. So it's somewhere right up in here. Okay, they, again, understood that, made it clear to you, so you can prove it for yourself. You got 10 fingers, put it down in your navel, and you'll find your heart. He alone, again, alone, meaning just him, alone is what? All this was what has been and what shall be. He has become the eternal universe. Yet he still remains what? Forever changeless. He didn't add or take away nothing. Yet he is all. And is the Lord of what? Immortality. He's going to be here. He ain't going nowhere. We going to pass. He's going to come by and whatever. But he will stay the same. He don't change. That's what immortality means in the spirit will go back to its maker if it gets enlightened while it's here in mortality. The same idea, again, wrap it up. I'm about to stop right here. The same idea is expressed in the Bhagavad Gita, Indians, okay, where Krishna, having identified himself as what? As all creation. And he states that all creatures come from me, sent forth, and merged in me again in the end. When I open my eyes, everything that was will come back to me. That's the concept. And in order, what's this? In other chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, it also states that it also discusses the oneness of God. Wrap it up with this. And the method by which a spiritual aspirant, right thinkers, who wants to what? Realize God can attain me. God is telling you, you can attain me, you can reach me. Attaining Brahma, you attaining godlyhood, reaching anointed, Christhood, Horushood. How? Realize me. By what? You ready? Understanding that he or she must abide in me. Enter into me, etc. That means you selling out for God. You putting your all. You ain't half-stepping. You ain't BSing. If you're a Christian, you all in. If you're a Muslim, all in. That's what he's saying. And watch this. Now, understand that he or she enter into me. Thus, while Krishna is in human form, that would be the Jesus, he is also what? Expressing as the universe, what? Of time and space, cosmic form. However, this is the caveat right here. In order to become one with God, and that's man's whole purpose for being here, it is necessary to fully and totally understand and be able to what? Commune with the essence of God, not the reflection, not the physical earth, but the higher power that only between the temples, not made with human hands, that's in your mind. Becoming conscious. The world is just an expression of God. And if understood in this manner by all those who know, the world can be a place of divine communion where all of the time, where I'm God conscious, I'll stay conscious. I'm always in God's mix. Y'all call it being prayed up. I don't give the devil ignorant mindset to come in and creep in and entice me or attempt me to do something that I know ain't right. I ain't got to worry about that long while. I'm proficient in my thought process. I think right. And if it is understood by every person, otherwise, it is only seen, watch this, as a stage for human interaction, life. Okay? Pain or pleasure, either or, struggle, life, or death, etc. That's the cycle of life of what? The ignorant people who don't get enlightened. The main idea of all is that what? It is inconceivable. It is beyond thoughts, while at the same time, it is all-encompassing and transcendent. Meaning, he's there. You just got to understand it. It is transcendent of being or non-being, and even transcendent of being what? Beyond the pairs of opposites or the no opposites. That before Maya. The transcendent self is exactly that. Transcendent. So therefore, words, ideas, similes, sacred scripture, etc. can't explain it, which are grounded in images of what? Time and space. He's beyond that. We also we will also be deficient in describing that which is transcendent of them. Why? We can't really conceive God in his totality. That's why. And somehow the mind must be able to go what? Beyond the normal thought, concept, process. Expand the consciousness. It is used in order to what? Totally realize the true meaning of the scriptures that's written. You have to understand and reflect and meditate on them and become part of them. And this is not done. If that's not done, then your mind now becomes what? Stuck and stupid, so to speak, in what? In the mental world of time and space, they call the loop, the causation, and there is no break through what? To the source of consciousness. I mean, you're just going, oh, the same thing. You ain't doing nothing. Okay, spinning your wheels, so to speak, wrapping it up. This is for the last 5 minutes. I got one more paragraph. But even when speaking of God as being male, the spirit, and creation as being what? The female. They got to go together. Aspect of the what? Which is enlivened by God. The spirit. There is still dualism inherent throughout the idea, but in the end, we must break through the duality to understand that in reality, there is no male or female, only in the physical form, except in our mental thoughts in physical form. But in essence, creation is one substance, and that substance is not separate from God. It's the spirit. We are indeed one with all, and that underlying essence that makes us gods. To know this intellectually, conscious is the first step toward what realize. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm rolling. Realizing it is actuality. This is reality. This realization, which goes beyond rationality and non-rationality, but it is the ultimate project of all spiritual enlightenment, aka yoga process, to get you to become one with your higher self. Wrapping it up. Enlightenment is the term that's used to describe the highest level of spiritual awakening. It means attaining such a level of spiritual awareness that one discovers the underlying unity of the entire universe. You are one with the all, so you know all as well. And the fact that the source of all creation is the same source from which the innermost self within every human heart arises. We all have that ability. Hope you got the lesson. Hope it made sense to you. Put it in use, practice it, and find out for yourself that you and God are one. That's the lesson. That's my moon. That's my message to you. And I got to go. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 minus the days, but I never know that you all passed away. Know God and you won't. Practice Maya, you live forever.